Antique Booth Secrets. What actually sells? Some items sit in antique booths for months, collecting dust and judgment. Other items, they disappear before the seller even finishes pricing them. So what's the difference between the item that sits and the item that sells before lunch? Today we're looking at the real items antique dealers say sell the fastest. If you're starting an antique booth, flipping vintage items, or just curious what buyers actually want, this video will save you a lot of guessing. These are the types of items dealers consistently restock because they sell over and over again. Item segment 1. Vintage kitchenware. First up, vintage kitchenware. Pyrex bowls, old mixing bowls, vintage utensils. People absolutely love these. Part of it is nostalgia. These were the things people grew up seeing in their parents' or grandparents' kitchens. And the other part, they're actually useful. A vintage Pyrex bowl might end up holding cookie dough or sitting on a shelf looking adorable. Either way, it sells. And if you find Pyrex at a thrift store for $2, congratulations, someone in an antique mall will happily pay $20. Item segment 2. Vintage advertising signs. Next, old advertising signs, gas stations, soda brands, farm equipment. People love vintage advertising because it instantly adds character to a room. A rusty old Coca-Cola sign on the wall somehow makes a space feel like a 1950s diner. And collectors love them because each one feels like a little piece of history. Bonus tip. If the sign looks slightly beat up, don't worry, that's not damage. That's called patina, and it often makes it worth more. Item segment 3. Cast iron cookware. Another antique booth superstar. Cast iron cookware. Skillets from brands like Griswold or Wagner sell constantly. Why? Because cast iron lasts forever. People buy these pieces to cook with today, even if they're 80 or 100 years old. And the funny part is, the older they are, the better they usually cook, which means a $5 yard sale skillet can sometimes turn into a $40 to $100 booth sale. Not bad for something that originally fried eggs in 1937. Item segment 4. Vintage tools. Next up, old hand tools. Vintage hammers, wood planes, wrenches. These sell surprisingly fast. Some buyers use them. Others display them in workshops or man cave spaces. And some collectors specifically hunt tools from certain brands. The key here is simple. Old tools were built like tanks. Modern tools often look like they were designed to survive exactly 2 weekends. So, vintage tools keep selling. Item segment 5. Small wooden furniture. Now let's talk about something that moves quickly in antique malls. Small wooden furniture, step stools, side tables, magazine racks. These sell faster than big furniture because buyers can carry them out immediately. Nobody walks through an antique mall thinking, "Perfect, I'll buy this 900-pound wardrobe today." But a small table they can fit in the back seat, that sells all the time. Curiosity segment. Vintage board games. Now here's one many sellers don't expect. Vintage board games. Old Monopoly sets. 1960s and 1970s board games. These sell because they hit 2 audiences at once. Collectors and people chasing nostalgia. Someone sees the game they played as a kid, and suddenly they're 10 years old again sitting on the living room floor. Nostalgia is one of the most powerful selling forces in antique booths. Closing insight. If you notice a pattern with these items, it's this. The best-selling antique booth inventory is usually small, nostalgic, and easy to carry. Items that remind people of the past and fit easily in their home today. That combination sells again and again. Please subscribe to the channel.